Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Discovery. This is the series where I head on out into the galaxy to find the unusual, the spectacular and the beautiful. On today's episode we travel around Colonia space, heading towards the neighbouring nebula with a plan to eventually head towards the galactic core. However, suns really are the star of this episode, as first we head towards the famous waypoint of Hades. Hades' Edge is a star that really did come to fame during the Distant Stars expedition at the beginning of this year in 2017. Now I'd like to extend my thanks to Commander Kung Fu Ferret, who recommended I take a visit here. It really isn't too far away from inhabited space at a distance of around 2,000 light years. Of course, what makes Hades' Edge particularly special to visit is the planetary distance here to the local star. Now here you can see the giant red star in the front. That is a distance of 700 light seconds away. So whilst these planets here are quite a distance away, the star is so supermassive that it looks like we're right on top of them. Now of course that does bring with it its own set of problems, specifically heat related. Fortunately, I've got a very cool running ship here. At normal flight, my Asp Explorer runs at just 22% heat. But even here, I've made sure to switch off a whole bunch of unneeded modules. This is Planet 1, a part of a group of 3 planets all orbiting each other at roughly the same distance here. Now, the gravity here on this planet is well over 2G, so if you do want to take a visit here, you're going to need to take care when landing. The great thing about this particular location is that more or less no matter where you are on the planet, you're always in for the treat of a spectacular view. If you've got a ship with a reasonable jump range, then this is certainly a system that's well worth visiting, and I'll leave the system name in the video description. The bulk of my explorations on this episode though were spent around Colonia space. Colonia of course being the second inhabited bubble centred around Jaques Station. There's actually a number of nice things about this region of space. One is that it's absolutely chock full of nebula, and the other, of course, is the sheer density of stars in the starfield here. Not to mention that Jaques Station itself is located fairly close to the galactic core. In fact, it's around about 5,000 light years from the outer edge of the galaxy core, where the stars start to get really dense. It's been over a year since I last visited that area of space, so my plan is to take a slow trip there to have another look at it. Unfortunately though, this is on my original Elite Dangerous account. Commander Granite has been out this way for a long time now, before the launch of the engineers, so this is not a modified ship, not in any way. It's actually got a rather lowly 30 light year jump range, so travelling any significant distance takes a fair bit longer than it would with any of my other ships. There's something extremely peaceful and tranquil about being in deep space. Of course, that isn't a comment on the rather uninteresting and excessive hyperspace jumps, rather it's a comment on the beautiful areas that can be found out this way. After all, sometimes even the lowly gas giant can be a source of wonder. There's some rumours around Elite Dangerous, based largely on a response from David Braben, that there's going to be some huge developments around gas giants fairly soon now. Something I'm particularly looking forward to. Getting down into the atmospheres of these great vast planets is something I've been waiting for a very long time now. Just how much justice Frontier can actually do to those sorts of massive atmospheres is something that remains to be seen, but nonetheless I don't think I'm alone in waiting to see how that pans out. Jaques Station is situated right on the border of a blue-purple nebula. It's a simple 20 to 30 light year jump to find yourself right in the centre of that nebula, and at a distance of around about 1,000 to 1,500 light years, and that is my current destination before finally turning toward the galactic core. Now en route, I'm constantly checking for interesting locations, and one thing I always check for are planets orbiting very close to each other. What do you got to check here for? are planets that have the exact same proximity to their local star. What you want, if you want to find something like this, are planets or moons that have a distance of less than 1/100th of a light second away from each other. Now, anyone who's done even the most basic amount of exploration will know that it's possible to travel for hundreds of light years and keep seeing system after system that all look relatively the same to each other. For me, I never hang around in those types of places. Even if there is an Earth-like, I simply skip on by. What I'm looking for are areas that are unique, areas that are unusual, and areas that are just rich in natural beauty. And looking at the system map, I knew that this one was going to fit the bill perfectly. One thing that often surprises me about my own videos in terms of viewing stats is that viewers, quite a huge number of them in fact, often seem to drop out when it comes to dropping into ring systems and checking out the asteroids. It seems to be an area of space that, well, a significant number of people are really not that interested in. And what surprises me about this is that I find these areas to be some of the most spectacular and some of the most beautiful in the entire game. I never get tired of travelling across areas like this one, whether it's flying through them on my monitor or jumping into VR and experiencing their sheer immensity. In fact, I find it to be one of the areas where Elite really does excel in terms of variety. It's not too hard to find unique ring systems. After all, the variation in lighting, in fog as well as rock style, really does offer up a huge number of possibilities. And if, like me, you're the type of player that simply likes flying around these types of areas and just taking in the visuals, then these are pretty much the perfect types of locations. Yet there is an underlying undercurrent to any of these exploration trips, isn't there? And that's the true lack of gameplay out here. Something that undoubtedly needs to be fixed. Yet in itself, that observation isn't a reflection of the true beauty of the Elite Dangerous Galaxy. A place, after all, that is full of absolute wonders. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.